the Billabong staff and Kalyani today. And I must say that Kalyani, I've been eavesdropping on your earlier sessions and listened to some very good discussions and ideas and views. And I look forward to it all over again today.
Sir,
Yes,
what
and
made you move out of Dehradun when you were so happily settled here? Beside the main field, you had a lovely house. You had great mentorship from the Miller and the Martin and even Simeon to an extent. What made you venture out beyond the island of the Doon?
well, I think this is one of the things which I would, advise all the teachers and people in different professions. We in India get stuck to a place far too often, and security is a big word for Indians. We don't want to move out of our comfort zone. And I felt that, having worked at the Doon School for so many years, it was time to share what I had learned and move bilaterally. So that's what I did. And wherever I went, I think one took, the experience and the ideas and the philosophy of what had been a great place and a great school. And of course, we were mentored when we were young, and we had some great people who guided us and mentored us. And so one decided, that I too needed to do the same, move to different places, work with different staff and different countries and different people. And I think it was a great thing. Many ways I felt whenever I moved around, it's like a messenger moving. God has sent you to look after certain children, certain people. And I think, it felt great to go to new places, see new cultures, meet new people. And I must say, my years in Indonesia were absolutely great when it came to learning about culture, about philosophy, about thinking, and how people can be happy with so little. And this is one thing I must say about the Indonesians, especially. They're they're very simple people. You were talking about simplicity the other day, and they just are happy with so little. And in fact, I was very surprised when once, one of the books I read on Java and Javanese cultures, which said that ambition was looked down upon. You know, that is the society you were living in. Everything was provided for you. What more did you need? And there was no greed in the society as such. So this is one of the reasons, one moved out.
Kalyani, you want to do your conversation with him here, or you want the others to ask him questions? I think we should start with you. I thought we'll have your conversation first and then we'll go with the blogger demo.
Namaste, Mr. Devgan, on behalf of all teachers of Billabong High International School, Thane. We feel it as our privilege to have you with us this afternoon. Your
Thank you.
experience and your expertise are both as our guide, and you being with us today speaks volumes about your simplicity and your humility. There's a lot to learn from you. I will not ask any questions because today I am a child and I want to learn.
Well, namaste to all of you. And like I said earlier, I'm delighted to be with you. And I'm right here to answer all the questions you have. I hope I can answer them.
Would anyone want to mark a question in the chat or put a hand up? You're most welcome. We have 44, which means we have almost about 40 people on board, which is almost 80% of the people who normally come in. So if you have a question you want to ask.
Yes, I will begin. So what
Kalyani, just 1 minute, please. Just get the visual correct. We can only see your lips. Yeah, you need to get
better now. I'm not using the laptop today. Maybe
yeah, you have to come a little in the center of it. Your head is right. Yeah, this is a little better. Little more. Yeah, this is perfect. A lot better.
So you mentioned that security is one of the, probably very close to the heart of the Indians and the Indian teachers. So when a teacher decides to move, is it only because she wants to learn, or are there other reasons which at times may be compelling the teacher to move? So how can the situation, like we are part of My Good School thought now, how can we make the environment, the school environment for teachers such that they are happy in whichever environment they are?
See, Liani, there are two ways of looking at it. One is, of course, like I said, we are not risk takers. By and large, one of the things which I also saw when I was, especially around Asia, that the Asian parent is far too protective,
Hmm.
and they don't believe the children can do things, and they stop them from, doing things which they could easily do. As for the teachers, of course, it's not easy moving out, and it's sometimes, like I said, people just don't want to take the risk. But working in a place and still, making the best of moving around and finding out about other places within the country or outside is like, I remember the first time when I moved out of Doon School. I worked there for 10 years and I felt that I was stagnating a bit. So I decided to take a year sabbatical. And I took a year sabbatical and I went off to England. So, but you see, schools can do that. I mean, Doon School had this fantastic thing about that every 7 years you could take a paid sabbatical. Now, this is one thing I've suggested to many schools and headmasters in India, that, like they say, a change is as good as a holiday. So if a teacher wants to just go to the school, any school nearby, even not even out of the, state, and spend 2 weeks with a different, in a different environment, it will be a great help. And I think this is what this is the kind of exposure teachers need.
Yes. So you suggest that teacher exchange programs can help?
Yes. Yes. Well, like I said, usually people are very keen on exchange programs abroad. It's not necessary. We have some great schools in the country itself. I mean, just going and in fact, economically it's easier, and people are, a lot of headmasters would, welcome teachers with open arms. So it could be, for a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Like I said, a change is as good as a holiday.
Thank you. Mr. Dutt.
Yeah, everybody, you all do your hair, blow some whistles. I'm trying to get a group picture because we've got a reasonably good number with sir and ma'am. So I'm trying to attempt a group picture. I hope I succeed. So please do your powdering and pasting, whatever you want to do. and be forewarned that I'm taking a picture. So here we go. Everybody ready? I know most of the people are hiding, but it'll just leave a record somewhere of a good memory we were all in. Anyone else wants to come in? Please come in. I'm trying to click it. I got the frame going. A little picture for us to remember Sir was with us and the good times we are having, we will continue to have, picture or no picture. Okay, I think we're ready. Most of us are ready before we go. Okay, here we go. Everybody ready? One. Oh yeah, they're all still pouring in. Okay, I'll start the countdown from 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Gone. Okay, lovely. So thank you, sir. I think it was brilliant for you to take out time today. Maybe it's a good idea that we do a demo of the blogger here if everyone's happy with it. Because
yes,
blogger has become life and soul. I have figured out a way that we will actually do a little blog post for you in front, and you will understand the challenges our group leaders face. Beyond them, the challenge Vaishali faces in trying to correct them and do things.
Arpita.
Yeah, so sorry, both Arpita, Vaishali,
and Vaishali, yes.
Yeah, Vaishali also has to follow up a lot. So I do appreciate her. I seem to be calling her name out more than that. So Vaishali, good. It shows that things are falling in place. I need to just take a second and get the blog up. Yeah. Okay. I got it in. So is everyone familiar with Gmail? I presume everyone is. Gmail is not a challenge to anyone.
No,
Everyone's
we
happy
use
with.
Gmail, so we don't have a challenge with Gmail.
So having a Gmail account is really the first thing you need to go for Blogger. So here we go. This is the Blogger today. It's a published blog, and it's a coincidence that the guest on the blog is with you live. So, I mean, this was not orchestrated. It just so happens that I happened to get him this morning and he is here with us. So to know about his views and what Sir means to all of us and what he means to the world, please do read this blog post. It's an interesting blog post. It talks about you as a leader at school. And you can share it. There's a small introduction about Sir in the bottom, a small biography in small letters. So here we are. So what we will do is we will go back to Gmail. That's where we'll start. So when you go to your Gmail account, you do this. I've just typed Gmail. So first thing you will do is you will log into your Google account, which is as easy as that. That's my account. From here, I will use the Google tools and I will not go to Gmail. I will straight away go to Blogger. You may have ended up reading my mailbox. So I took a circuitous route to go into Blogger. So I mean, your Blogger will not look like this because this is a professional blog space. You see the number of blogs we support. Here we are. So we support so many. So there are schools, there are organizations. We are from the blog list. We need to literally look at one blog, which is Brewing Knowledge. Brewing Knowledge is our community blog. Brewing Knowledge is we were here. So Sir's right here on the home page of Brewing Knowledge. This is what it looks like. Now I can also enter from here. So here I am. If you are a user, like so many of us, you will be in our control panel. So when I go to user settings for posts and comments, sorry, basic. Yeah. So Muskan, you were mentioning to me about blogging. I think it's a good idea for anyone in school, whether it's a teacher or a student alike, to write here. Whole idea about blogging is people should read what you write. If you just decide to make a blog, it won't work. Like I mentioned, we put 10 years to build this blog up and to get the views of nearing 300,000. So these are the authors we have currently. Now you will be able to identify some in this. I'll go up a little. Yeah. Spectrum is here. See why I mentioned that you should have the word BHIS. So we can identify you. Otherwise we can't identify you, where you are from. So this is where we are. Currently I'm logged as my own self. So what I need to do is I need to go to posts and I need to do a new post. So when I do a new post, this is what opens. Now, ideally, I would prefer to type here, this is my blog. But before I type, I need to write here, let us say, and here I will write down, I'll write Dutch, BHIS. That's the author. So this is the first thing I need to do. Some of us are writing the title here. No, title should not be here. Title has to be here. And look at the way we put a hyphen. We actually put space on either side. If you fix the hyphen, which most of you do with the alphabet N, then that's not the right way to use the hyphen. Hyphen has to have breathing space on either side. Then only hyphen shows up. If you don't want to use a hyphen, other way I recommend is you can actually use a full colon where the title and the author get separated. But this, I find this a more nicer way to read and present. So what we will do now, I will go on and open a Word file, which you people have with you. From my Word file, you will not be able to see the Word file, but I will just get the content. I'm just copying and pasting because most of us do that. So I'll tell you what the challenges are when you copy and paste. So at the moment, I've copied the text from a Word file and I come back here. Now I am loaded with content. Look what I'm doing. I've gone to the Chrome. I'm not using this toolbar. I am now using the Chrome toolbar. I go to edit and I don't use paste because that's what most of us will do. I will do paste and match style here. This is the content I just got from my Word document. So cut and I will do command V, sorry, yeah. So I have now with me a post with a good title. I have a post with the perfect formatting. The challenge here is that if you don't do it like this and you do it the way you do, let's say we'll do it like you do. We will go from here and find some other document. Okay, what we'll do is we'll open something here. So what we'll do is schooleducation.com. So let us say we go to Learning Forward Academy. Now I will now bring content from here like this. I'll just take a part of it. So we will copy this content when we'll come here. So what if I had just done this? See what happens. You saw the difference? Now when I do a preview, this particular matter which I've got now may not align with the Blogger settings. In my case, it will because I have got everything in Blogger. But when you will pick up formatted content, you will never be able to get the correct page. So you have to use this command, edit, paste and match style. Now what else do we need? We need to get a graphic. So this is how we'll get the graphic. So let us say upload. We can even upload from the blog. We may have some graphic on the blog. Okay, let us just take this. This is our logo. So we'll just take this. I could have uploaded from the computer, but I have currently uploaded here. Once you have it here, see how versatile this is. You can just drag and place it anywhere. You can make it small, you can make it medium, you can make it original size, you can make it left, you can make it right, and you can add a caption. So what I can add here is my good school. No one has added a caption so far. So now I have a graphic, I have content. I also have a link reference where I got this from. So I will call it a hyperlink. So this link will open onto a website from my blog post. Now what do I need? I'm going to ask Arpita to come in here. Arpita, can please unmute?
Yes.
Yeah, Arpita, let's get down to work. So what we need first is good labels. Can
Okay.
you just suggest one or two labels from this, Arpita, and why you choose them? I hope you can read my screen.
I'll try.
Yeah, just choose some labels and we'll try and explain why we choose labels like that and not labels at random.
I need to choose them from whatever you have here.
Yeah, what content I've just brought in, my blog
Okay.
post. So
So
let's go
labels.
paragraph by paragraph.
So suppose value-based curriculum, something to do with values.
Yeah, so what we can do is values is a good label to use next.
Then we could talk about specific values or uh, needs of the 21st generation or something like that, because that's what we are talking about.
So what we can do is we can use future, ready, we can use learning,
Yes,
then we can use joy because that's a lot of
that figures a
concentration.
lot. Yes.
We can use 20 2 as one word because 22 is our key figure.
Okay.
Then I think inspire is a good word here. I have reached paragraph 3 now. Maybe I could even do this. I could just take all the values,
Okay.
as this is my interesting place. So I could even put all the values. Now my challenge is after every value, I must have a comma. So let us say these are my labels. Let's not worry about looking at more. So it's saying separate labels with comma. Okay, that I've done that, done. So I have now got all my labels. Next, I'll go here. I'm at the moment at Billabong School.
Okay.
So I'll just type Billabong Thane and I'll search Google Maps. So when I search Billabong Thane here, that's your address. So I've
It
reached
is.
here. Now I have to fill the search description. So what we can do is, let's find something interesting to put here. When people search this blog online in a Google search bar, this content will show up with what Google prints. So let us say, let's assume this is our key content. So we'll copy this and we'll do, we'll just paste this. So I'm doing it quickly because we are limited to time. So here we are. We have the heading perfect. We have just the right content. We have a graphic in place. We have labels in place. We'll take the risk of publishing it. But before we publish it, we will just see if we have saved it. Okay, it says that your length of labels, we did something random. So we just kind of chose too many labels. So we'll just delete a few. You can't use every word under the sun and say that's my label. So let's save it. Okay, now it'll save. Now, before we do anything else, you as a group leader, as Dutt BHIS or Bloom BHIS or Rectifier BHIS, will just leave it here for Arpita. Arpita will log in and Arpita will then do the edits. Is this what you do, Arpita?
Yes, this is exactly what I do, and then I save it after I am done with the editing.
So let's assume that you had an extra content here. Arpita, what is the hello doing in the middle of nowhere? So Arpita will do this and she will delete the hello. And Arpita also has the option, she can run a spell check. Spell check can be from here, or spell check can be from Grammarly. In my case, it's Grammarly. There's no spelling mistake. There's no grammar mistake in this document. Sorry, I cheated. I took a corrected document. Then I also do one thing. I open this here. I normally look here. So it says your text is confident. Okay. So that's sorted out. Then I also try and do it like this. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so here we are. It still tells me certain suggestions it gives me. It says our society along. Okay, so yeah, add a comma. Okay, this is how I'm able to use technology. So it says inconsistent capitalization. Why using program capital? Yeah, I have to use program capital because I'm referring to a program. So it just corrected everything. So it says for values, use prices. No, I don't want to do that. So I will just dump this suggestion. Then again, no, I don't want to change my values to prices. And then it says there should be a comma here. So I'll accept this. Now it says great job done. So it says your document is looking good. There is clarity, there's engagement, there's delivery. So let's go a step further. I'm not doing this plagiarism check at this stage for anyone. Here, it's found out where this document is from. It says 97% of your text matches a document online. So here it is. This is where I got the document from. So it's as easy as that to find out where the document came from. So anyway, I will just not bother about that. It says you are 97% plagiarized. So I said, okay, don't worry. Just dismiss this. I am cheat. So here we are. So we are ready. Arpita leaves it here. She saves it. And then Arpita informs me in Telegram that I am done. And I have a look. I do all my corrections. Then I do a preview. You can do the preview also to check your formatting right. Sometimes Devgan sir writes a post. This is what he gets. I send this to him. He says, this looks good. After that, we publish it. So that's how the document looks like. Arpita, does it look good?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
See, the trouble I have is I find all of a sudden some of the font sizes are changed. So the first paragraph has a different look. The
Yeah, yeah.
second one has a different look. So
They're
that's
not
probably
using
because
this
of,
command.
yes.
The
Okay,
command
I
which
get it
I'm
now.
mentioning to you, they're not using paste and match style. And then let's assume they want to highlight and make some fonts bigger. They can choose it from here. So they can make it large from here. They should do formatting here. You can even use colors here. Okay, here. Now if I do a preview, this is what happens here. So I like the way our teachers do formatting, colorful. They are most welcome to do because that's what makes the blog better appealing than just text. So I've done it in front of you. So whatever formatting you want to do, use this little toolbar here. This toolbar is very easy to use. So here, I'm undoing what I had just done because I didn't want that red and bold. And here we publish. We'll take the risk of publishing, but we'll delete it because it's an unnecessary post. So now it's no more draft. It's become a post. And if I go online, this is how it looked like. So earlier on, Mr. Devgan's post was there, and now my post has come up. So I'm just going to quietly go here and just do this because I've done my job. So I'm back to the original post, which was there on the blog. So here we are all done with this. We shall just close this here. We don't need this. We'll close this. We don't need this. This is anyway not there. We have explained about all the tools here. As we were here, now look at me. I will now do a refresh of this page. Okay. Yeah, so I've come back to the original position. Our little information is here on the Learning Forward Academy, the joy of learning, staff leadership development, better learning outcomes, youth engaging society as a program. You can follow us on Twitter. Then we have a Brewing Knowledge Weekly, which goes out every Friday. So the headlines come here. We have a podcast, which I shared with you people a few minutes back. The podcast posts come here. Taking responsibility. These are the last few. Experience versus inexperience. These are the last few podcasts. So these are the posts which have been trending this week. So perhaps Billabong people have not shared too much. So their posts are not really trending. This particular post is trending very interestingly. It concerns challenges schools are facing today in these difficult times. So I guess it's a hot topic, so it's trending. Yes, this is the post of simplicity and trust. So here we are done with this. We will just get this out of the way. We'll get stop screen share. Okay. Thank you. I will just admit some new people who have just come in. Yeah, we are all in. So here we are. Thank you so much, Arpita, for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone patiently for these 20 minutes of blog learning. We shall now go on to where we are today and why we are here today. Here we go. We are back to our blackboard. Can you all see the blackboard?
Yes.
Okay. It's now become familiar. I'll have to change this blackboard to some other color. Kalyani,
No,
don't you
no.
think so?
This suits. This suits.
Okay.
We were
Today we
used
are
to
talking
blackboards, not green
Yeah, today we're
boards.
talking about responsibility and cooperation. Sorry. Devgan sir, give us an introduction. Why you think responsibility and cooperation are values?
Well, to begin with, talking about cooperation, I think the most important thing in learning and in any kind of learning is relationship. And I think cooperation has to do with the relationships. where in a school or institution or wherever people are, they need to work together. And working together comes back to the thing which is most important in school or anywhere again, is teamwork. And with teamwork, and when you have the responsibility with it of looking after children and mentoring children and guiding them, then of course both go hand in hand. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Kalyani, what do you think is the role of responsibility in our lives?
I would say responsibility is synonymous with accountability. So if I am taking up a task, I am accountable for that task, for the completion of the task, and to ensure that the task is completed well, I seek help, which is cooperation. Because it is not possible for a single person to do everything. That way, we share responsibility, and we also learn from each other when we cooperate.
Yeah, brilliant. So we are happy to see responsibility and cooperation share the stage. And like I always mention every time, it took us a lot of while to figure out how to do the values modules and why we chose the values. So here we are, responsibility. Kalyani, you said accountability. That is a brilliant one. What does any and everyone feel responsibility is? Why don't you think of one or two words and put in the chat so I can discuss your views? I'll combine your views with the views we have here and then see how we can understand responsibility better. So try and mark on your chat what responsibility means to you. Here we go. We are open to everyone. What does responsibility mean to you? Share with us. Mention what responsibility means to you. Keep writing in your chat. Responsibility, as Kalyani so beautifully said, as accountability, comes from taking ownership of one's actions and words. And that's exactly what Sanika first said, taking the onus off. How nice we started with a thought together with the same seed today. Brilliant. Then it says, build your own practice. Yes, the responsibility is building your own practice, Ajita. A sense of duty does not require an emotional content. Yes, I agree. Responsibility this morning was correlated to duty in the morning session too, where people thought responsibility and duty were synonymous, which is great because I think duty is responsibility and responsibility is duty. So it's brilliant that we have a universal thought of what really is responsibility. Then Ajita says, plan, prepare, and deliver. I think responsibility is very interesting. One, yes, you are accountable for your choice. Two, you practice self-control. Three, you finish what you begin, because when you take ownership, then only you will take things ahead. And best, do your best and keep trying. That is responsibility. You will go wrong, you will stumble, so you will apologize. A simple example of responsibility is when you return a belonging of someone else very carefully and you keep that belonging material or the item which you've got even more with more care and compassion than you keep your own things. So here we have responsibility is a commitment. Brilliant. It's a moral obligation. Even better. It takes care of our dear ones, our nature. Yes, you have a responsibility to nature. That's why we said reduce waste and recycle. You have responsibility to your health. You have to exercise. You have to work hard. You take risk every day. So you have to be responsible. Responsibility is accepting that you are the cause and solution of the matter. Brilliant, Poonam. That's a very good one. Poonam, why don't you unmute on this? Poonam? Will you be able to unmute?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, brilliant. You wrote such a nice sentence. Responsibility is accepting that you are the cause and solution of the matter. So you
See,
are so nicely correlating cause and action. How nice. Please share your thoughts on this. What made you correlate cause and action?
okay, sir, responsibility means what responds your ability. And if you are responding to certain situation, obviously all the obligation will lie to you only. So if something happens happening because of you, only you can take the correct measure to correct all these things. So it is a cause and effect relationship.
Yeah, brilliant. So I'm glad you used the word ability. See, if you look at the word responsibility, there are two words in it. There's response and there's ability. So your ability to respond is simply responsibility.
Thank you, sir.
Responsibility.
Beautifully conveyed.
Yes, absolutely. Responsibility is to complete your task, taking ownership and without complaining. Great. Yes, it's connected to relationship, like Sir said earlier. Shama says a true leader takes responsibility for their team. Thank you, Kalyani. We love you for that. And helps them achieve their goals. Also, each individual has a responsibility to control their behavior and not react to the situation. Brilliant. This morning we had the same thing. We talked of action and reaction, where one educator said, I will go to a class, I will take action, but I will not react. That is responsibility. I thought that was very profound when the person said, I will take action, but I will not react. That's when you are thinking of everyone around you. That's when you don't want to, I would say, offend anyone for any wrong you observe. So by taking action means you will not take anything lying down. You will not take any negative action as an affirmation, but you will think and act. And that's very important. So that's why if you see the examples of responsibility, it's your health, it's your work, it's your environment, it's your family, it's being true and not forfeiting others of their belongings. And very interesting one, apologizing for mistakes, which is leadership. Leadership simply is when you know you need to be on the correct path. Responsibility is being ethically correct. And Momita has echoed this. Momita, why did you come in? I want to take you on this use of word ethics out here. Momita?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what brought
Yes.
you brought in ethically correct? I really like that.
Yeah. Actually, we teachers, we are always propagating that many values we want to inculcate in the students, like punctuality, or but if we are not propagating that in our actions, in our day-to-day actions, then it is our responsibility to propagate whatever we are we want the kids to learn. So that
Yeah.
is again our responsibility as teachers.
So does it mean what you're saying is we must practice what we preach?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's a very simple phenomenon, not blaming other for a decision. Thank you, Vaishali, for that, because responsibility has no space for a blame game. Look at this graphic. This graphic actually plays and connects with My Good School. Can anyone figure out why this graphic connects with My Good School? Any hand going up? Mr. Devgan, you haven't done this quiz. Why this graphic connects with
Service
My Good
skill. It has all service skill.
Yeah, brilliant.
Activity.
Yes, it's got the four things. It got the four, I would say, elements that build a school environment. So you
Yes.
see there's skill there, there's service there, there's study there, and there's sport. So I know he's carrying a trash can, but he could be also doing some fitness work. So you tried to put in the entire description of a school in this one visual, where your responsibility is to your environment, where your responsibility is to your health, where your responsibility is to your colleague, where your responsibility is to your class, and your responsibility is your duty. So what is very important, how do you deal with irresponsible behavior? I'm going to ask Kiran Pandey to tell us. Kiran, as you have said, it's a state of having a duty to deal with. Please unmute yourself, Kiran, and tell us how would you deal with irresponsible behavior in your classroom.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Kiran. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, so I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, very
Yes.
well. How do you deal with irresponsible behavior in your classroom?
Sir, it's a day-to-day like topic for a teacher to deal with irresponsible behavior in the class, because as a teacher, it is my responsibility to make the child feel responsible for all the work which he is being doing. So in my class, if the child is irresponsible, I call him out and talk to him and make him understand his responsibilities, so that next time he does it on his own without me pestering him or forcing him. Thank
Would
you,
you
sir.
like to share a particular moment or something, how you handled the situation any day, if you can recollect a situation? I know I haven't given you time, but at the drop of a hat, is there any time where you have figured out that you have to do it in such a way that there is no blame game, one? Second, you don't offend anyone, and yet you win the love and favor of the child.
Sir, I can't recollect one situation because there are n number of situations happening in the class. Children normally, when you give them some responsibility, you make them feel important. Then only they'll be able to have the onus. Otherwise, yeah, teenagers, they don't try to be more responsible. They try to shed their responsibilities on others. He did this, so I didn't do this and all. So we have very small duties in the class to feel responsible, like taking care of the books, taking care of water bottles, taking care of the class cleanliness, as well as taking care of the chalks which are there on the teacher's table,
So
so that don't play with the chalks.
what you feel that if you give a task or something simple for a child to do and involve the child will feel the responsibility.
Yes, sir. Sir, early morning it is a task of the children to see whether the tables and chairs are proper. Even the date and the thoughts, it is their responsibility. Okay, ma'am, this is the thought which I want today. And even in my class, we deal with the for example, if it was Kalpana Chawla's birthday, so we write on our board, "Happy birthday, Kalpana Chawla," and then even Einstein's birthday we celebrated in my class. So it is every child's responsibility to find out what is happening in the world. So this is my way of making them responsible.
No, brilliant. Kiran, thank you so much. You can mute. I'm finding suggestions coming for, say, we can start a reward system, we can start appreciation, we can start acceptance without obligation. People are looking at a reward or an acceptance as a way of handling irresponsible behavior. Would anyone want to raise? Yeah, Muskan, please unmute and respond to that.
Yes, sir. I'll just talk about something that happened in my class last year. Okay, I had a child who kept roaming around the class during the sessions. So it was very distracting for the other students. As a child of grade 1, it was difficult to make him understand what are his responsibilities. So instead of forcing the child to sit down, what I used to do is give him some work, some responsible work. Please go and give this book to the teacher, or please go and pick up this income. So when he used to feel that importance, he liked that importance, he started listening to me and sitting in the class, because he knew that if he sits and acts responsible, he will again get a chance to go and do something outside the classroom, something important, and come back again. Similarly, one more situation, he never used to write in the class. So I started rewarding him with stars, as everyone was speaking about rewards. So it did take time. It took around 6 months, but eventually after 6 months, he started writing on his own independently. So that's how rewards work in the class at times.
Yeah, brilliant. It's, a smile from the teacher is perhaps the biggest reward sometimes.
Absolutely, sir.
I'm sure Kalyani will agree on
Yes, what I feel is irresponsible behavior should not become a habit. If it is once or twice, I think the teachers can ignore that, and they can come up with a reward system, or they can accept and let it go. But if they see that irresponsible behavior is turning into a habit, then I think intervention at the right time is required. So there could be various ways of intervening. You know, give the child a buddy who can explain things, or probably he would like listening to his buddy more than the teacher, or the teacher can separately talk to the child, and not once. It has to be continuous. So I think once or twice we can ignore, but if we see that it's becoming a habit, we need to intervene at the right time with the right kind of action.
Yeah, that's good, Kalyani. I think, like you said, you even brought in the element of patience in this. You brought in an element of care. You brought in an element of compassion. And when you add all them up, you can actually handle irresponsible behavior better. Would anyone like to share a home situation where some irresponsible behavior they found, they tackled? Or what are your recommendations for looking at irresponsible behavior at home? Anyone wants to put a hand at that? How do you deal with irresponsibility home? It's very similar if you have kids home. Yeah, Sanika, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. So it so happened that we had a common consensus at home that we will have all the farsan items or anything related to junk food only at 4 o'clock during the snack time. Otherwise, we are not going to have it. So this rule was mandatory, and everybody in the house, including my 85-year-old grandfather, also had to follow it. Then it so happened that children took advantage of this, and they started finishing it at one go in the afternoon, because they knew that they are not going to get it again. So the snack item, as you know, which is brought from outside, doesn't stay for long. So buying it again and again and again was a task. So what I did is I told the children, this is the amount that is allotted for this week. You are going to buy stuff of your choice. Once you consume this, you run out of it. Whatever is our share, you have to keep it for us. And this will go on for 1 month. Once this is done, if you understand and we sort things out, good, we continue to go back to whatever we were doing. If you don't understand, then we continue with what I have just suggested. So within 3 weeks, the children understood that yes, consuming all the stuff at a time with such budget is not practical, and its ill effects on your health also are visible very fast. So immediately things changed for me. It did not take more than 15 days. So that was some contribution from my side.
Sorry, I think that's a wonderful story. So what I really like about what you mentioned, and you connected with the pocket money at home. Pocket money is the first kind of responsible behavior we are supposed to learn at home. And likewise, greeting adults and family members and relationships strengthening, these are the other things which we need to handle as examples. That is a very nice one. We'll roll on. Now, when we go to the classroom, you do so many things in your school. You present events, you create clubs, you give leadership opportunity, you make monitors, you make class monitors, you make prefects. You have umpteen ways of giving responsibility. Here's an example. You could do a raffle sale, you could do a class cafe, you could do just about anything. Do you have any suggestions how you would like to explain or inculcate a sense of responsibility in your class, in your school? Can you share something with us? You can unmute, you can talk. We can take 1 or 2 responsibilities, and then we'll move on to the next value. We are well in time. So would anyone want to share? I'm not encouraging writing in chat because we don't have enough time to read all the chats, but definitely we want to hear another story as to how you like. We got a beautiful one just now from Sanika. We'll be happy to hear another one, how you encourage responsibility in action in your class. Anyone wants to give us an incident by looking at this, or you have a suggestion how you will organize something in your class? Vaishali, please
Yes,
start.
sir.
Please.
Sir, we can, as in our school, we are an inclusive school, and we have a good amount of children who are, physically or mentally challenging. So, in the class, you can always have these other children helping these children to, carry out some tasks. So when you encourage children to help them with some reading tasks, writing tasks, or, helping them to go to the washroom, and you appreciate their responsibility for that, I think it takes them a long way. And this is also sensitizing them towards people whom you can, who need help. And this kind of responsibility not only, it does not only help you in the classroom itself, but also takes you out in the society. So, we are helping them to move from a classroom situation to a situation where they are also locally and globally accepted and appreciated.
So what is so beautifully putting is you're actually putting citizenship here.
Yes, sir.
So when I look at areas of personal and social development, you are talking of the environment around you, you're talking of better citizenship, and you're actually talking of skills which will help the child move ahead in life.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That's brilliant. Sorry, Kalyani.
Also, I think we can tackle bullying using this buddy system. So if we have a senior student and give him a buddy from a junior section, we usually come across a lot of complaints of bullying in the bus when they return from school, or maybe in the playground. So when we give them this responsibility of taking care of a child who's junior to them, they will also understand that as seniors or as elder students, they have a responsibility towards each and every junior member of the school.
Brilliant. I also want a suggestion here, and I'm putting a responsibility on the classroom here. Let's help each other get onto workplace. So I give we should help this class of ours. Today we helped you with Blogger. If you want, next week we can do the demo for a workplace like we did Blogger today. We'll try and share some new thing with you every time, have a new speaker, and actually add to your armory of knowledge. So we really appreciate, I can't tell you how much we appreciate Kalyani mentoring us as much as we love helping you. It's wonderful to be working.
That's cooperation.
And it's perhaps been one of my most enjoyable PLP sessions in recent times. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Cooperation. So in cooperation, we just talked responsibility. Responsibility builds teamwork, and teamwork is cooperation. I hope we all in agreement with this. What do you think teamwork is? Can anyone tell me what teamwork is? Bhumi, you want to speak up? I saw your name right on top, so I shot at you.
So I think teamwork is when people organize groups and they work willingly towards a common goal. All of them share their resources, their ideas, and they achieve the goals decided by them willingly, and they strive towards perfection.
Great. So you brought in common goal, you brought in cooperation, and you brought in effort which combined produces result. Here, the children are cooperating around a round table. They are perhaps doing a project together. This visual can mean anything. But what it means is that together we can do a lot. So working with others in harmony to achieve a common goal. I'm sure for most of us in classrooms, this is what a class means. Working with others in harmony to achieve a common goal. Then Ajita says encourages a growth mindset. Yes, cooperation will encourage a growth mindset. Then respecting each other of the team. That's the next logical step. Coordinating and building friendship. So care, compassion, concern for each other. And more important, to get the best of cooperation, you have to be a good listener. Be up for helping out and build trust. So you have to be, they always say that You have to be trusted to give trust. And likewise, if you trust someone, you will beget trust. So cooperation also brings in the value of trust. Encourages a growth mindset as per Ajita, great. Yojana feels that collaboration is an extension of collaboration, wonderful. Working in collaboration with peers, that's a good one. Cooperation helps to achieve our goals. Yes, Vaishali, I fully agree with you. It helps us move together. A simple thing about cooperation is you and us working together. Wow, how beautiful. Think, pair, share. Think, pair, share. I really love that. Thank you for that, Ajita. Cooperation is think, pair, share. It's equal amount of participation, yes. More than equal amount, it's just participation, because sometimes it may not be fair to have equal participation as cooperation. Everyone has different ability, different participation. Cooperation is just an understanding where you can work together. Thank you, Sanket, for bringing in the understanding bit of it. It's interesting how all the values, the 22 values, start flowing out when you talk of one of them. And I always go back to the beautiful example Ajay gave us about the garland. Muskan says, we are not a team because we work together. We are a team because we respect, trust, and care for each other. Brilliant. I wonder who's using the name Danesh.
That's Sumati. Miss Sumati.
Fantastic. Sumati, teamwork, working together, achieving a common goal, and come up with solutions. Great. Bhumika says cooperation is assistance. How simple. Ajita says respond to classroom diversity. Yes, you have to respond to classroom. Kalpana says sharing of ideas. Even brilliant. So what we are finding is that class is nothing but a collaborative. Class is nothing but a cooperative. Class is nothing where everyone, it's only that everyone feels they have a stake in the class. That is collaboration or cooperation. And when people understand that they are being appreciated for being cooperative, they will take responsibility. When Kalyani mentioned about the buddy system, that was purely cooperation. That cooperation brought in responsibility. And that's a very nice way of handling discipline challenges in a classroom and handling irresponsible behavior. Teamwork divides task and multiplies success. Yes, teamwork will help you share. Teamwork will help you evolve. Teamwork will help you with a deeper understanding of one another. Enhances students' communication skills. Brilliant. To agree, even if you disagree. Yeah, that's a wonderful one. That's a great way of cooperation. Accepting everyone, that's cooperation. Being inclusive, accepting diversity, have a belonging, that's cooperation. Cooperation and working in teams makes us think deeper about ourselves and brings out the best quality in us. How brilliant. Cooperation brings...
Can I talk about the last one?
Sure.
The last on the slide was be a good listener. So when we say be a good listener, we don't have to listen to reply. We can only listen to listen. I think that creates that sense of belonging in the group when you're not listening to reply.
Yeah, I like what you said, that all of us, when we are listening, we are wanting to speak.
Yes.
That sometimes is a big challenge in the learning curve. You have to let the listener empty out. Then you get that split second to think, and then you should speak. You have to hear the comma and full stop and the last syllable of the listener or the speaker. That's a very interesting one, Kalani. I'm glad you brought this up, because if we don't listen to the sentence till the end, we will not be able to cooperate and be responsible for our own action. Should we move to the next visual, Kalyani?
Yes, please.
Brilliant. Finding ways to understand others. We've exactly come to what you were saying, and work together to achieve a goal. We all mentioned a goal. We all mentioned a shared belief. We talk of cooperation generates broad-mindedness and tolerance to accept the views of each other and act unitedly to achieve the ultimate goal. Abira, that kind of synchronized with this slide. Did you see the slide before us, or you wrote that sentence before us? Abira?
No, sir. No, sir.
How did you synchronize your conversation with
I
this?
don't know. It is coincidentally came out.
I have not shared this presentation with anyone, so I'm glad we think alike. And that's what cooperation is. You've actually seen cooperation here come alive. When you and us are actually thinking the same thing, that's cooperation. That's ultimate understanding. That is ultimate value connection, where we can actually cooperate in a class. So we've mentioned instances of how do we get cooperation in a class. Would anyone like to share with us how you do it? How do you get your class to cooperate? How do you get buddies to work together? How do you work in a way that young children hold hands and sit together, eat together, play together? How do you bring about this togetherness or cooperation in the system? Anyone wants to take a conversation on that? How do you cooperate literally?
So I had a student who was visually challenged.
Please go ahead.
And when our principal decided to take him in, we were all in deep sea. We didn't know what to do with this child who could not see. So we were informed that his mother will be accompanying him to the class every day, and she will be, because this child at that time had no braille training, so he will just be listening. And so he was not he had weak ears as well. So we thought, okay, so now a parent will be sitting in the class, and we accepted. Within a few weeks, the mother decided that she would sit in the library and leave her child to the classmates and the teacher, because the children of the class started taking responsibility of giving everything that was required to be given to the mother. So once the class was complete, the notebook used to go to the mother in the library. She would take down notes and return the notebook. She was there the whole day in school, but the child was taken care of by the classmates only. And that child is now in the US. He works for HSBC, if I'm not wrong, or some bank, where he is trying to find a solution for a Braille ATM card.
Fantastic. So
we never felt that we had a visually challenged child to take care of in the class, because children of the class became so cooperative.
That's brilliant, absolutely. So what it really means, Kalyani, it's a kind of conditioning. And very often I end up using the word empathy when you come to situations like this. Yes, cooperation will enhance student communication skills. Then I have Momita saying cooperation and working in teams makes us think deeper about ourselves and brings out the best qualities in us. This is exactly what Kalyani just said. How beautifully this thought came with your story, Kalyani. Cooperation and working in teams makes us think deeper about ourselves and brings out the best qualities in us. So those children actually adapted.
Yes.
How the inclusivity and how the diversity in the class actually prepared them for the world.
Yes. And the next year his mother got trained in Braille. Then the child got trained in Braille.
So which goes to what Ajita says, that it works in unity, it works in harmony. Then it creates a space, it creates broad-mindedness. Cooperation generates tolerance. Cooperation generates an ultimate unitedness, which I can get a very strong message from people. It takes both sides to build bridges. Brilliant, absolutely. So a classic example is how we are working. It takes both of us, you and us, to actually improve our knowledge, to strengthen cooperation between Thane and Dehradun and take ahead the joy of learning. So the cooperation we are living right here. You care for us, we care for you, and that's cooperation. It's as simple as that. It's not at all complicated. You care for us, we care for you. That's cooperation. I don't have to be physically present in your class to show, let's pick up this desk together, let's pick up this table together. Cooperation should lead to improvement in knowledge. It should lead to a discovering your inner self. It helps you discover your personality. Cooperation is that deep. Let's take cooperation to the classroom. Now, we've been talking of cooperation in a classroom. We've already got some beautiful examples a little while back. Then what we say, it's a very interesting example which I put down here. Ask your class to maintain a weekly cooperation log. They should record one daily act of cooperation in the class and at home. Organize a monthly discussion around the challenges they faced and how they tried to cooperate on such occasions. So if you reflect on our conversation today, we are actually talking of this. We are looking at occasions and moments. Now this example about the child with Braille being accepted in the class and about the mother taking leadership with the cooperation of the whole commune or community, we were able to cooperate and handle the occasion. And that's the beautiful part. So in this case, there must have been many daily acts of cooperation. They may have been acts of perseverance, patience, giving, taking, doing things for the other. So you can organize a group activity when you do plays in school, when you do dances in school. These all work towards building cooperation. We've had some beautiful suggestions from you. Cooperation is understanding each other, as simple as that. It's nothing more than that. Cooperation is working with the little book of values. So that itself is cooperation for us. When we adapted a book and we took the cooperation from Julie and Ian, who have helped us understand the value system, who are with us right now and we are with them. That's cooperation. We are in the class of Julie and Ian just now. We are reflecting on their work. We are reflecting on their value system. So that's how deep cooperation is actually going to be. It's, if you ask me, everything we do in this world is about cooperation. And every time we talk of every value, that value will always seem precious. Minute you go on to the next value, it will seem even more precious. But most important, to have an understanding, you need cooperation. To delegate responsibility, you need cooperation. To understand trust, you need cooperation. To understand care, you need cooperation. So that's how deep cooperation goes. I am closing cooperation here. I want to read one or two messages I have here. Cooperation in classroom is taking the best quality of student for the betterment of the entire clan. Thank you, Kalpana. Sumati says, cooperation is understanding each other. Thank you. Then Gita says, lead to better self-esteem and increase learners' confidence. Thank you. The chat which you write here are actually given in a script form to Vaishali. So most of what you say in the chat is actually recorded. Thank you for doing the chat comments and giving us your thoughts. The thought comments come in the report without a name form. So do accept that as your cooperation and that is your collaboration, where the knowledge you give us is actually adapted for better good. Is there anything you want to ask me on responsibility on cooperation? Anyone has a challenge on responsibility or cooperation? Okay, great. So we are out of the presentation. I have with me virtually even a fuller house. It says we went up to 46 people and with Sir out, which means we have a larger number of people. Do you want to attempt a bigger group picture? I caught you unawares. Sir's still there, I think. Let's give a big...
But I'm not. I'm on my...
Okay. So we can take a bigger group picture because the number has gone to 46. These little pictures we'll paste in your logbook. We will not share in the social media. We will post them in your Joy of Learning document because it matters to you. It doesn't matter to other people that there were 46 of us here or 48 of us here. So why don't you quickly all come on, all set. So I don't want alphabets. Try and get your picture there. I don't want a name at all. There should be no name on the screen. You can put a picture, you can put a video, you can put what you want. But I don't want names on the screen. Muskan, put something on the screen. Oh, beautiful. We got Rajeshri also. So we got one more. We still have a few names hiding. We had Kavita, Jyoti, Madhubala, Rinku. Please unveil yourself. Ghungat ke piche kya hai? So, are we all ready? Geeta? Good, good, good. I think it's what a beautiful screen. I still have Pallavi left. Brilliant. I have Ginny. Ginny, we are good to go. Lovely. I think this is the most brilliant screen we have. So here we go. Sir, why have you put your video off now? Okay. We will take your shot from your last video and do a cut paste and put it here. Thank you. Cheese, smile, butter, cookies, honey, biscuits. Okay, we got them all in. Thank you. That was a lovely picture. Thank you all for being here. Today, I'll just recap. We started with the introduction of Mr. Devgan. Some of us left it out. His weren't here with us. His work and introduction is on the blog also today. The link for the blog is there in the chat. If you scroll up this chat or you go to brewingknowledge.com, you will have an introduction of Sir. We did a demo of the blogger. I have in your WhatsApp chat also posted somewhere long back as to what is Blogger and how you can use it. You will get a video of Blogger anyway. Yet, if you want to blog, if you want your students to blog, please request us for an ID. We will create your identity on our blog. We will happily have you blog as much as you want on Brewing Knowledge because you will find a community to read. An author's book is as good as the number of people who read his book. So here we are giving you a ready-made audience. So it will be a good idea for you to write here. And you can also sort them out. You can get all yours. When you search with your name, it will only list yours. For example, when I write the report, I create a list of blogs posted by you. You can sort them out with BHIS, with your name. You can even publish only your writings in a book. There is a process called blog to print, where you can select the blog posts and send those to print. So today, if you see, there's something known as print on demand. You can get a book which may not be in print, but which is advertised on Amazon. The book is existing in blogger form. So it just goes blog to print and comes to you in a printed form. So when we were debating earlier about a book and a blog is the same thing. Blog is a repository, book is a publication in physical form. There really isn't much difference between the two. So we talked of blogger, we talked of two values. Our values today were responsibility and cooperation, which we find move hand in hand. So that was our session, value for values. A little bit of request to you. We are now virtually halfway through. I will appreciate if some of you give us some feedback today as to how you feel you will take values to your classroom for a better learning outcome. Why after this session of 6 more, you feel you'll be better prepared. We want some feedback from you. I would love to have people volunteer and give us feedback. Let me see who wants to talk. I've intentionally kept 4 minutes for this process today. We want to hear from you how your experience is going, how we are touching your lives, how we are getting inside your heart, how we are trying to understand you, and how as teachers we need to do much more than just this. Anyone wants to share? Share your joy of learning with us. It will help us improve our day. You will bring smile on us when you share your joy of learning. Look at me pushing you and cajoling you to share your joy of learning. Who's going to go first? Kalyani, you are unmuted.
Yes,
Please.
we are now into online teaching and learning. Now there's only the connect is between the, connect is on the screen, not a physical connect, and we cannot expect physical connect to happen anytime soon. So it will take a long time. Now, in that case, how do we still continue with the sharing of values, or say, I won't say we can preach values, but how do we actually take it up with students when we are not face to face?
Yeah.
Because this online learning is going to stay for quite some time, whether we like it or we don't. We have to get adapted to it, and we have to kind of upskill ourselves. So in that process, we should not be leaving out the values which we talk about usually in the classroom scenario.
You want me to respond?
Anybody can respond. Yes, you may begin.
Yeah, Kalyani, three things. Number one, when you're talking of when we will get back to the class and will the world be the same again? I don't think the world will be the same again.
No, it won't be. I agree.
Second, when you will get back to the class, even if you get back to the class, relationships will have changed.
Yes.
And even if you want to get back to the class, I don't think you can get back to your class by sometime August.
Not before September. That's what I'm looking at.
I'm looking at fall. I'm not a futurist. I say that every day.
Yes.
But the way things are going, I'm not looking at schools coming to their stream or their self before September.
Yes.
You may have some exam in the middle. You may have some entrance test before that. You may have some process of trying to complete the incomplete last session. But I don't think, in all earnestness, will you expect children to come wholeheartedly to your school before early fall.
Yes.
Parents may not want to send them, even if you want to open the school.
Yes.
I'll give you a classic example. This week, I've been to work. Today is my day 6. We've only averaged 4 to 5, 6 footfalls in the store. Yes, it's a bookstore. Yes, we served coffee. Coffee is only takeaway. We've not had more than 8 or 10 people ask for a cup of coffee. You can well imagine how things have changed. Ideally, anyone who walked into the bookstore would simply ask for a cup of coffee. Today, the person is actually avoiding the cup of coffee, is quickly walking in, picking up the book and exiting at the earliest.
Yes.
This is an atmosphere or a room where people would like to spend time. So that's how the environment has changed, where you'll doubt the air around you, where you'll doubt so many things around you. That's one. Second, now when it comes to teaching and learning, I don't think you're being realistic when you say we will go back. We can't go back.
No, we can't go back.
We will have to carry the new learnings and skills like you so beautifully said. Maybe, for us at Learning Forward itself, the way we are doing the PLP, we have adapted. There was a time when we would insist that we come to PLP. Now we'll never go to any school to do PLP. Once a season. That's about it. Krishnakshi, you want to say something? She's in. Yeah. Anyone else? You can come in, please. How do you think this value session? Yeah, I want to answer a little more. How do you take it to the children? Now, in the Fab India School example, we have very, very successfully started sharing the stories and values with our little class cohorts. So what the teachers do, like we work in this PLP class, if I may call it a class, I don't want to call that, they do exactly this with their children. They shared their blog posts with their children. They shared their stories with their children. They've started making audio files. That's how those podcasts are coming up. So what we have done, you are perhaps there. We have a closed private group of the Fab India School community.
Yes.
Our Facebook group is not a public group. And today we put some security riders there. One. Second, we don't let any and everyone come in there and wish a happy birthday or anything like that. We have created that Facebook group, number one, private. Second, we only let people whom we want to be within our community. Our community is 3 kinds of people. the people who work in the school, the people who champion what we do, and people who want to take learning from us. So that's how we define the school community. Obviously, we don't have 800 kids or 800 families. The group is about 900, which means there are empathizers who are there with us. We welcome them. Why? Because they leave behind something and they take as much from us. That's what we appreciate. So you will have to use like what we are using: Zoom, Blogger, G Suite, Telegram, WhatsApp, social media, to keep up and strengthen your relationships. That's the only way I can sum it up.
Right.
Yeah, we want more feedback. Ajita?
Yes, teachers must be.
Yeah, Ajita's in. Ajita, you want to say something? Okay, that was Abira, Ajita. I'm going to call two people out. I'm going to call Manisha out. Manisha Joshi. Please unmute.
Yes, yes. Actually, I was about to speak before also, but I was enjoying the conversation, and I have learned one thing from our leader is to be a good listener. So, what I would like to share is from this learning forward. I think today's session itself is very interesting, and what I believe is when we give responsibilities to the students, the cooperation comes in, and the students feel the qualities in them come out well, and some students, they wouldn't even imagine that they have the leadership quality in it until and unless we assign certain responsibilities to them. I've experienced this when we had celebrations of Friends Day in our school, and there were times when what I observed is we had a history fest, so there were these older students when we gave them quite many responsibilities that, okay, the show has to be arranged by you. So the best of the students came out. There were very shy students. Even the child themselves came up with ideas that I never believed that I could do this. So I'm sure, at Learning Forward, all the teachers who are a part of this group are definitely, going to utilize these values in their online classes.
Thank you so much for that input. Could I please request Pallavi to come in? I just thought I'd get some people who are very quiet, because all of us have become listeners. There's no one to talk. Kalyani, you really made them all listeners.
No. that was not my intention. They are all good listeners.
I'm going to unmute one or two people to get some energy in the system. I have unmuted Pallavi, one name I have unmuted. Pallavi, you are being heard now. Pallavi? Okay. I'm going to unmute at random absolutely. Okay, Nilka, you are being unmuted.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, sir. So today's session has been very, very helpful for us all. Like as you said, cooperation goes hand in hand with the responsibility that children in the class have to be responsible for their lives. And we as teachers have been doing this for long, but then today's class has been good and helpful for us to understand and how different can we use this. Like Kalyani ma'am gave example of the not able to see and how children cooperated and they helped him to be part of the classroom. So basically, this is a great help, a great platform for every one of us to learn different things, understand. Like we may be knowing something, but here we are learning more.
Thank you, Pallavi. I think we are losing the audio. I also have unmuted Pooja. Pooja? Pooja, we want you to say something. Okay, she don't want to say. We will just go back to Yojana. Yojana.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yeah, we want you to give us all as a closing for our session today.
Yeah. What I feel is responsibility, cooperation is very contagious. What I've observed in our classrooms and in our staff also. You give responsibility to a person and then you appreciate that person, you will find 10 other people coming out asking for responsibility. And then the teamwork with their cooperation and collaboration makes things better. And with all, yes.
That's beautifully summed up. And I appreciate your good words here. Kalyani, please help us close the session.
I think teachers have all these values. I think they are intrinsic somewhere, I feel. You know, you talk of a value and you take a teacher, you'll find at least 50% of, or 80% or 90% of the values in the teacher. So what I want all of us to do today is to reflect whether we are able to transfer the values as much as we are able to transfer the other knowledge, the subject knowledge that we have. That is important for us. If we are not able to transfer that, I'm not saying we preach it, but we have to somehow transfer it so that when these children grow up, they grow up with these values ingrained in them. So as educators, let us reflect and find our own ways to reach out to these children and let them understand these values and follow these values in their lives.
Thank you. Brilliant, Kalyani. Devgan, sir, you want to close the session? Okay, sir, I think sir's not got his computer with him. Okay. Thank you all. That was a lovely session. And I'm glad we're ending at a note as to where we are trying to translate our work into action, as to how we'll carry these values ahead. We have discussed, we have mentioned how we're going to do it. You can actually reflect like this with your class. That is what is called spreading the joy of learning. So how we work here, we can work exactly in the similar manner in your class by giving responsibility and by cooperation. So at this note of responsibility and cooperation, I look forward to great blog posts coming up. I'm sure you'll collaborate and cooperate better and take responsibility of meeting your commitments of posts. All the best. If you need any help, you know I'm always available. But let me tell you, last week, no one actually took any help. So that was a great week.
No, I need help with podcast.
Yeah, we can do that. You want me to do it right away, or you? I think let's close this session. Let's fix up a meeting between you and me and actually help you with a podcast.
Okay, we'll do that.
Or you can even send me a small clip in Telegram of what you've spoken or a small video. I will convert that in a podcast and show it to you.
Okay, okay, great, done.
I can convert a video into a podcast. I can convert an audio into a podcast. So whatever you want, whatever you have something ready which you feel carries your message. Remember 3-4 things. One, it's always lighter. An audio file is always lighter. An audio file is perhaps even more powerful than someone just looking at that picture or that video. See, when you're listening, you are concentrating more than when you are looking. When you're looking, you even sometimes forget to listen. So that way, like in our earlier discussion, we also realized that, Vaishali also so beautifully said, some people are more audible people. So I think podcast is a very underutilized method. And if you go back historically, radio has been a great way of building up great education and content. And historically, radio has played a far better role in civilizations than television has. Television has perhaps led to a dilution of our power to listen.
Yes.
So let's correct that, and I agree with you. We will work more on podcast. We will try and convert. We are doing that. You can hear to the podcast. We'll try and convert this into a podcast also. But I look forward to a clip from you when you're ready. And I am quite okay in the early hours through the week, because I start work at 8 a.m. I'm not sure whether you will have time in the day. You can tell me what is your better time. I'll adapt accordingly.
All right, sure, I will.
If you prefer the evening hour, I'm normally available back on my desk at about 3:34.
Okay, right.
If that suits you, we can do. If someone else wants to come join that small session of podcasting, we're happy to do that.
Sure.
Sandeep, I'd just like to say goodbye to everyone.
Oh, we thought you had run away.
No, I was just getting a bit, busy with something else. So thank you, Kalyani, and thank you, all your staff members for having me with you today. And thanks, Sandeep.
Thank you, sir.